What's up, fam? It's your boy, and you already know what time it is. Man, can you believe that we're back into the full swing of earnings season once again? And you already know how I like to do it. I like to let you know the stocks that I'm watching doing earning reports this week because, man, this might be a time to pick up shares, get some information in the market that you can take advantage of to ride up shares 25, 50% in certain cases, or it may even present you an opportunity to buy some options as a stock decline and then you know that it's going to recover, or a stock gets sent to the moon and you know it can't stay up that high because it's too overvalued at those levels, and that's when you buy a put. Either way it goes, man, we're going to talk about all that today because I want to get into these stocks that I'm paying attention to this week, because this is the beginning of the week where we actually see in earnings season financials start to report. And there's some key financial stocks that we like to look at and understand what's coming out of their mouths and understand how we can actually use this to our advantage in the market. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Earnings Whispers big market spreadsheet for what they got earnings calls to pay attention to this week, and I'm going to tell you which ones I'm looking at. So let's jump directly over into it and let's look and see what we got. So we're going to first start, forget Tuesday. Let's go ahead and move past Tuesday. No disrespect to Fast and all, no disrespect to Pinnacle, but let's get down to the ones that really matter to me. Okay, JP Morgan, first one about the gate, JPM. Look, CEO Jamie Dimon is, man, he's a beast. He's one of the most profitable CEOs in the industry and knows what he's talking about and has his pulse on the market. Man, if you have not seen JP Morgan since the pandemic recovery, you have been out of sight, out of mind, because this thing has went all the way down to $95.24 at some point during the last 52 weeks, and now we're seeing it at $171.51. Currently in the uptrend, but let's not pay too much attention to that right now because we don't really care about the shares at this point. We want to hear what JP Morgan has to say about the health of the economy, how we're looking at post-COVID like starting to get behind us, how we're looking at what the market has got to deal with the debt ceiling. Is the Evergrande situation in China something that we should be paying attention to more? Things of this nature are the heavy topics that I want to hear from when it comes over to JP Morgan and how they're moving in the industry, okay? When we get this information, pay attention to this because this should be something that a lot of the rest of the financial sector should be saying as well, because the leader of the financial sector has already stated their claim on what they believe is happening with the overall arching economy. Now, what we care about right now is the interest rates, how interest rates are going to be moved as we start to taper bonds as well. So paying attention to this type of information is the things that I want you looking at. And if you're paying attention to that, then that means that you're not going to be sleeping at the wheel in real estate, you're not going to be sleeping in the wheel in auto loans, and you're not going to be sleeping at the wheel just in investing in your own portfolio altogether. Okay, so let's get back over to what's going on in the market. Then we get Delta Airlines reporting as well. Delta Airlines is someone I'm paying attention to, and I always tell you each and every week that we always talk about something with the travel sector. Look at the TSA Checkpoint Numbers, because if you're looking at the TSA Checkpoint Numbers, then that tells you with the information that you need all together, okay? Looking at these numbers, you want to pay attention to what the pre-pandemic level was and then what the current output is now, okay? So we start with October 9th, which was yesterday. You will see that 2 million travelers was traveling prior to the pandemic, 769,000 during the pandemic, and we're currently at 1.6 million during the 2021 travel throughput, right? But let's go back just a couple and let's see have any of these days passed each other yet in 2021 versus 2019. And we do not have yet a date where we've seen the numbers be higher at the checkpoint versus than what we've already had prior to the pandemic. Now, why is this? Because a lot of people are still afraid to travel, in my opinion. And that's information that you can use to actually pay attention to as what Delta is talking about. Because with this, if Delta comes out and give great information about how they're seeing travel and picking up, business travel picking up, things of this nature where they're seeing more bookings in first class and business class, then this could send the stock up into another level as a lot of the rest of the travel sector moves with it. And this is something that you can take advantage of in the market. Well, now, if Delta actually pulls the market back here with their talk about what's going on in the travel industry, what's going on with the checkpoint numbers, things of this sort where they're not seeing in business class, then this can pull the stock back. And this is going to be a hit that the market is not ready for. And then the travel sector tumbles and we can take advantage of it on the puts or this will give you an opportunity to buy shares at lower basis, and then you can ride it back up for the wave. Okay, all these things are in place, and this is all the things that you should be paying attention to. And this is why I believe that Delta is going to actually be one of the plays that pay a whole lot of attention to this week. Okay, BlackRock follows up Delta. Okay, when we talk about BlackRock here, BlackRock is the #1 hedge fund in the world. Okay, what we care about when it comes down to BlackRock is about the 13F filings that they're going to have to report with their earnings call. We care to know what plays BlackRock has just picked up for the first time and initiated buys on, and anything that they've sold completely out of their position of, because that let us know that something is going on behind closed doors that BlackRock does not feel comfortable with, and that's a signal to us that we need to be following the same cues or understand at least what our risk is in this point in time. Now, talking about what's going on Thursday is Bank of America. Yeah, we got Wells Fargo reporting, we got Citigroup reporting, we got US Bank Corp reporting, and Morgan Stanley. But at the end of the day, we care about what Bank of America is talking about, because this is one of the biggest banks in the world, well, in the United States, and they're always going to have way more to talk about, just similar to what JP Morgan is going to be able to talk about. But when we're paying attention to Bank of America, we care more so about the interest rate talk again. We care to hear about how their technology is picking up for their customer service base, and how they're actually looking to move the stock in a bigger way to a bigger portion. We know about the earnings. We know about the earnings per share. We know about the dividends. We believe all that's going to increase. But at the end of the day, Bank of America can move the momentum behind this play by just actually answering the question specifically and direct about what Bank of America next steps is, and building their base even higher. Okay, now on Thursday we get a play from Domino's Pizza, where this is one of the most expensive restaurant stocks out there in the fast food industry. So paying attention to what Domino's has to talk about. They're a leader in the forefront of restaurant industry, and we care about this because it affects the likes of stocks like Cheesecake Factory. This affects stocks like McDonald's. This is going to affect even Papa John's pizza stock, and this even affects Chipotle in certain ways, right? So we want to pay attention to what's going on here, because this is when we get our first sense of how the economy is rebounding back and how much more money is being pumped into the economy, especially with people eating out more. So pay attention to this level of information that's being given. And even Del Taco's reporting that afternoon, but I think what you're going to get most of your information from is Domino's Pizza. Okay, on Friday, Goldman Sachs reporting their earnings, and man, we're going to be looking forward to this call, because Goldman Sachs is the key to Wall Street, and you know what they like to do. They like to tell us all the information they possibly can about how they see the markets developing, what should be a point in time where we think that the market may pull back, and some of the hot industries that we should be paying attention to that we're not just yet, and how that's going to affect their business plan going forward. Goldman Sachs is going to be a wealth of knowledge, and this is going to be the end of the kickoff of the first full week of earnings calls that I'm looking forward to, because then we're going to start getting to some more heavy hitters, and when we get into those heavy hitters, that's where a lot of this money is going to start being made at here. But this is your first glimpse into what you could start expecting from the rest of the earnings season. And here's the good thing that I want you to think about in the overarching picture of all of this, right? We've seen so much valuation get priced in ahead with forward PEs that this may actually tend to lend itself to where earnings expectations may be missed, or a little bit higher than what they should be at for all these companies during this earnings season. And if the financials come in and not beat earnings expectations, or just finally meets over that cusp, this could lead to where you're starting to see valuations start to pull back a little bit. And these valuations start to pull back. This is when I'm looking the most to go shopping, because you can go shopping at this point in time for an increase in profitability for 2022, and then get the numbers back where they should be. So don't feel surprised if you start to see a lot of these stocks pull back as these earnings seasons develop. But this first week is very important to setting the tone for what we actually believe in. So if you found value in this type of content, definitely hit your boy with a like here, right? Because I want to make sure that you know that this video right here is something that you want to be seen more often than not. Okay, and then if you don't do anything else, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you like the psychology and the thought process that I use behind the market, right? And definitely bang that notification bell so you can be notified each and every time I drop way more high content like this. And I hope you found value in this. Like I said, it's been your boy Craig. Y'all stay safe. Peace.